Hey there, bookworms. I just finished reading East of Eden by John Steinbeck, and unintentionally, half of the Grapes of Wrath, due to ADHD, hyperfocus, and impatience. If you want to hear that story, stick around to the end. So this was my first time reading Steinbeck, and I am proud of tackling this classic that was so intimidating to me for so long. I give total credit to Benjamin McEvoy's channel for getting this classic on my reading list. So if you are unfamiliar with this novel, it is an origin story for John Steinbeck. And because Steinbeck inserts himself into the story for the 52 Book Club Challenge, the prompt I'm going to use is self-insert by an author. Even though this novel is Steinbeck's origin story, it is written with so much depth, symbolism, and allegory that it does not feel like a story of his family's beginnings in Salinas Valley, California. And it is, according to John Steinbeck, a novel of good versus evil, the ultimate story of mankind. Steinbeck uses the biblical story of Cain and Abel both literally and figuratively. Literally, when Adam Trask is trying to name his sons, and figuratively, in the relationships of Adam Trask and his brother Charles, and also in the relationship of Adam's sons, Aaron and Caleb. Now, the people in this novel are both flawed and complex. They grapple with the uncertainties of whether their actions are determined by their nature or if they have some control over their own destinies. There are two main families in this novel, the Hamiltons and the Trasks. The Hamiltons are financially poor, but rich in love and family life. In contrast, Adam Trask and his family, he experiences a lot of setbacks, and he really struggles to stay in the present to experience love and his family. So, of course, I have some thoughts. This Sunday, our pastor is reading the genealogy of Jesus from Luke. The list includes not only the faithful, but also rapists, murderers, prostitutes, and idolaters. And as I was sitting there, I thought about East of Eden and how everyone's history, if you go back far enough, will have this same combination of people who were both good and evil. We are not victims or overcomers due to our ancestors. Most of our destinies are a result of our feelings that turn into thoughts, and then those thoughts that turn into actions. Now, of course, there are things that can happen to us and that can be done to us that we have no control over. But we still have agency to control how we react to those things and what we want to do about the feelings that we have about those things that have happened to us and that were done to us. And I think that is why John Steinbeck took such great pains to include the biblical interpretation of thou mayest in the book. And if you are curious about what that means, I cannot do it justice here. I strongly encourage that you read the book and find out. So how did this novel make me feel? Well, it is a very American novel. And as an American, I relate to it in that it is probably very similar to the story of my grandparents and my great-grandparents. It also reminded me of the brevity of life and the importance of our friends and our family. And similar to the book, like Adam and Charles and Aaron and Caleb, I also am one of two siblings. But there are times when I know I felt like my parents may have favored my sister over me, and I'm sure she felt the same way. So that is why, spiritually speaking, having a relationship with God, whose love and acceptance is unwavering, can be an anchor in your life to hold on to so you don't drown in jealousy or hatred of your sibling or siblings the way that Cain did of Abel. So if you are still watching to find out how I accidentally read half of the Grapes of Wrath, here is the short version. Step 1, I bought an ebook that included both novels. Step 2, Grapes of Wrath did not have its own book cover page in the book. Step 3, I was determined to finish the book and stayed up way late to read it and did not really notice when the tone of the book shifted. Step 4, I started to wonder when the new family, the Jodes, would get into Salinas Valley to interact with the Trask family. Step 5, I got impatient and it was taking too long to read this book, and so I decided to Google how East of Eden actually ends. Step 6, I find out that I have actually finished East of Eden without even knowing it. And step 7, I had to reread the last chapter of East of Eden to get closure. I did get half of Grapes of Wrath read, so that is a plus. So, in conclusion, do I recommend this book? Yes, please do not be intimidated. This is a classic that you do not want to miss. What else do I recommend? I strongly encourage you to jump headfirst into accepting the free gift of reconciliation to God that comes with accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior. It will help you with the thou mayest. If you have read East of Eden and you have thoughts, please share them in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy reading.